Hello and welcome to this week's At Home with the Wayne. My name is Tracy Strait. I'm the Executive Director of the historic Wayne Theater, Ross Performing Arts Center in downtown Waynesboro, Virginia. Can you believe it? It's already our 5th week of At Home with the Wayne live stream series. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. You can also see us on our YouTube channel. We have a real treat for you this evening. Choral Music Directors Ryman from Waynesboro High School and Melissa Dole from Fort Defiance High School will be talking with our host, Hank Fitzgerald, the Director of Original Programming at the Wayne, about the importance of music in our school system. Being a former music teacher myself, I love to hear about their students' victories and achievements through music. Tonight's At Home with the Wayne is brought to you by our month of April sponsors, Heritage on Main Street, providing takeout and delivery. Stand Out Arts, Waynesboro's top-rated web designer. And Mountain Valley Homes Team, the Valley's newest real estate team. If you would like to become a sponsor of the At Home with the Wayne series, a partner in the arts, or make a donation to the Wayne Theater, please click on waynetheater.org link in the description of this post, just above the comment section. Once on our website, look for the orange box that says At Home with the Wayne. We appreciate any support you can give. Before we get started this evening, I want to tell you about Giving Tuesday Now. As a response to the effects of COVID-19, the folks at Giving Tuesday, which is an annual fundraising day, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, have created hashtag Giving Tuesday Now. And this will be a global day of giving and unity that will take place this coming Wednesday, May 5th, 2020. We will be hosting a special At Home with the Wayne Giving Tuesday Now for 2 hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, May 5th. We will have performances, messages of goodwill, lots of joy, and many thanks to share with you, our Wayne Theater community. We hope to see you there. And now, here's Hank, Melissa, and Jeff.
Good evening, Facebook Live and At Home with the Wayne. We are here tonight with Jeff Ryman and Melissa Doe. Good evening, you guys. How are you all doing this evening?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing great.
Good.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Good.
So we are so happy to have both of you on talking about music education in our school system and how important it is for every youngster out there that's growing up and going through music in the school systems. And we've got a lot to discuss tonight with music, concerts, and theater tonight. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got involved in music and who was your inspiration going through school and what got you interested in music education.
Sure. So I grew up in Dayton, Virginia, and went to Turner Ashby High School. And while I was at Turner Ashby, I had the husband and wife duo, band director Jim Wampler and his wife Deborah, and she taught choir, he taught band, and they really kind of instilled that love of all things music in me and made me want to pursue that career. So post high school, I went to JMU for my undergraduate. And I actually did my student teaching at Waynesboro High School.
Yes, and Jeff was actually my student teacher. I think it was around 10th grade, I was in concert choir. And David Clatterbuck was the instructor and you were his student teacher. And it was the first time I actually met Jeff. Yes.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then last year I actually finished my master's degree at JMU too.
Melissa, tell us a little bit about where you're from and what got you into music.
I'm actually from a little town in Pennsylvania called Berlin, Berlin Brothers Valley, and went to a small high school there. And my parents are really the ones who instilled a love of music with me. Started piano lessons when I was in second grade, and my dad sat with me for a half hour every single day, making sure that I practiced and that sort of thing, and really instilled that dedication in me, which I'm still incredibly thankful for. And so then I ended up coming to Bridgewater College for my undergraduate degree. Went to East Carolina University to get my master's in vocal pedagogy and performance. And always felt like the Valley was home. So ended up coming back here and taught actually right after Jeff at Shelburne Middle School. When he went to Waynesboro, I got his position there. And for a while then was split between Shelburne and Stanton High School. And now I'm at Fort Defiance High School. So
that's wonderful. And you both have wonderful opportunities for your music students and people that want to get involved with singing in schools, and how important music is in our school systems and music education. If someone is going further, wanting to take music education further in their careers, whether they're going to want to be a music teacher, piano, voice. What are some suggestions, Jeff, that you could give to anyone that is interested in music and what they could expect when they go to college?
Well, I think what Melissa just touched on, those lessons when we're younger, I think probably most of us growing up really hate sitting in front of the piano or taking lessons and trying to learn things because, you know, when you're a kid, you want to be outside playing, but those lessons are really important. That's where you really learn how to hone your own skill and how you get better. And it really does foster all of those great musical skills that will come back for you when you grow up. And get involved with everything that you can be involved with music. You know, sometimes kids do very poorly academically, and maybe they have a learning disability or they have other problems. And music sometimes is an outlet that, you know, everything changes when you get into music, and everything sort of suddenly makes sense.
Yeah.
I've had teachers come to me and say, you know, this student is such a hassle, and I see him in your choir, you know, what can you tell me? And I'm like, he's a hassle. Are you kidding me? I can't believe that, because he's perfect for me.
Well, Jeff, I was one of those kids. And, I know that my inspirations of why I wanted to pursue music and theater was because of Roger Zimmerman and David Clatterbuck. They just, I needed a rabbit to chase when I was in the 7th grade and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, David Clatterbuck said, he says, you know what, you have a good voice, you should use it. And he pushed me and inspired me to pursue my music career. And I'm very thankful for, having my music teacher take pride and let me know that, I had some talent there. And it's things like that, in school systems and I know you two as teachers, that you inspire. That's what teachers do. That's what we do, is we want to inspire people. And I know that you two have wonderful stories about students that have, grabbed the gold and started running with the music career. And I know Jeff has had several students that have gone on and pursued music education. Kat McLean, that I know recently graduated a couple years ago, is now teaching music.
And Stormbirds also.
Yeah. And Melissa, I'm sure you have several students.
I do. In fact, I get to teach with one now. One of my students who graduated from Fort is now one of the music specialists at Clymore, which feeds in. So it's really awesome. She gets to teach my kiddo. It's way cool.
It's wonderful. I know, Jeff, we have some pictures of you conducting. We know that you have gone on several trips with your choir to Carnegie Hall. I know that you've gone to New York several times, all around the country. Could you tell us a little bit about those experiences?
Sure. I've been blessed to take Waynesboro High School concert choir to Carnegie Hall 4 times. 2 of those times we were able to give spotlight concerts on our own and to perform, to have me conduct those kids on that stage, which is just a life-changing experience and really a fantastic experience that I could not have imagined coming from Dayton and little old Turner Ashby High School. It's really been a fantastic journey. We've performed for the governor for tree lighting ceremony. We went to Puerto Rico and performed for the governor in Puerto Rico and for the state houses in Puerto Rico and San Juan. During Obama's administration, we sang for the Department of Education and for the Secretary of Education. And that was a really cool experience to be able to connect with him and to see the fantastic work that they were doing for our schools at that time.
Yes, and I know I speak for many alumni, people that have been in concert choir at Waynesboro High School, and how it was so important. It was important to me because it was the best years of my life when I went into concert choir. It was the thing to be in concert choir at Waynesboro High School. And I'm sure it's the same with you, Melissa, with your kids, getting the opportunities to either go see Broadway musicals, plays, and just open up that spectrum for all these kids that may not get to do that on a regular basis. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for these kids, these young adults to really experience live music in all aspects. Jeff, you have a piece that we're going to show that you're conducting. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
That's right. So one of the things that I'm pretty passionate about is world music. And I feel like here in the Valley, at this time during a pandemic, it's great. We're protected and we feel a little bit more sheltered. And the mountains we feel like we have a barrier against the world. But I also feel like that shuts us off from a lot of other things. And so I try to bring in world music for my students so that they get a feel for other cultures and how music is really different in other cultures. So this piece is from India. It's an Indian raga, and it's called Dvijavanti. And it's just a really fun, kind of cool piece. It's fun to perform, but it's also really fun to learn and very challenging. So I hope you enjoy it.
That was great, Jeff.
I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah.
It sounds
Wa-
wonderful.
Watching that video, I'm reminded of how bad our lighting system used to be at Waynesboro High School. And this last summer, we got all brand new lights and new curtains, and the auditorium was refurbished. And it looks so much different this year. But looking at that video, I'm reminded of how bad it used to be.
Yeah, and the choir room that everyone's probably used to, former Waynesboro High School students, it looks completely different.
Yeah, it looks totally different.
Jeff gave me a tour, and it's stunning what they've done, and I'm very happy for y'all. So that's
Yeah, it's beautiful. We have windows now. It's great.
Yes. So Melissa, when you're choosing stuff for your choir, and what are your inspirations? I know you probably want to expose them to different styles and different classifications of music. So tell us a little bit about when you go choosing material for your students.
Sure. Well, actually, right now, since we're doing this whole distance learning thing, I have them working on like sort of getting inside my head a little bit and learning how I choose music. So that's like a really cool question. So we always want to look for a good variety of things, both in English language and in foreign language, across different time periods and from different countries, like Jeff was touching on, and also, you know, different tempos. You want something that's fast, you want something that's slow, that sort of thing. So it's really about finding a variety of things, but then also finding ways to tie those different pieces together. So some of the things that my kids were working on this year going into assessment, which is like a state adjudicated festival kind of thing that we go to and are rated at. Actually, we were working, Jeff, on a Indian piece as well. Ours is called Desh. So we were doing that. We were doing an arrangement of How Can I Keep From Singing by a female composer, well, a female arranger. Her name is Sarah Quardle. And those two pieces at first seem really, really different, but I had the students looking at them and they soon started to realize that they were in the same key, that they both had 7/8 time signatures in them, that there were differences and shifts between moods whenever the time signatures changed, that sort of stuff. So for me, it's really about finding pieces that create a good variety, but also really teach the students about the mechanics of music and music theory, so that when they go on in music, whether it be professionally or just as something that fulfills their life, which is something that I really want them to be able to do too, they're not just rote singers. I really want them to be able to walk into an ensemble and open a piece of music and know exactly what they're doing and not just have to listen to a part and mimic it back. And so that's where my inspiration comes from.
Fantastic. This next clip, it's actually from Bridgewater College. That's where you attended. And tell us a little bit about this next clip for you.
So this next clip, I'm singing with my roommate from Bridgewater. Her name's Abigail Hostetter. Hey, Abby, I love you. And this actually, the really cool thing about this is that it's not at Bridgewater specifically. This is actually at First Presbyterian in Stanton. And it's during a rehearsal for friends of ours' wedding. So this was for Brad and Gary's wedding. And they asked us to sing. And isn't that so much of what music is about, is being able to connect with others and celebrate and love one another. And so yeah, that's what this clip is. It's Pie Jesu from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Requiem, which is a name that we probably all are familiar with since he just streamed so many of his musicals lately that have been a lot of fun to watch. So.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful.
We have a lot of comments coming in, angelic voices.
Oh, thank
lot
you.
Of, lot of formal students are watching. Got Chelsea Burks,
AJ
Madison.
Thompson, Susie Stauffer,
Yeah.
Madison DeGollier. Hi, Madison.
Yeah.
Hey, Katie, I see you. And Bass, I love Bass.
Bass.
And my sweet Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. I miss
Oh,
you.
hey, Liz.
Yes. And Heather Tussing is watching. Yes.
I just
So you have a piece for us that we're going to show you actually conducting. Can you tell us a little bit about that piece, Melissa?
Sure. So this piece is called Earth Song by Frank Ticheli. Frank Ticheli is actually more of a symphonic band composer, but this is a piece that my students had done at a festival. This video is actually a few years old, but the piece is just beautiful. And we really liked this one because we felt like it breathes as you're singing it, and that's one of the things that the students are doing as we're singing. We're sort of moving in and out with the music because that's what we want our students to be able to do. We want them to be able to feel it, not just straight up very stoically perform. We want them to be entirely enveloped in the process of making music, and so that's what this piece sort of helps us to do.
It's a great piece.
It is a wonderful piece.
Wonderful, Melissa. It's
Hey.
fantastic. Sounded wonderful. So anybody, any student out there that is interested in getting into music, what do they need to know and how should they prepare themselves for a music career?
Yeah, I think if you want to be in a music career, one of the basic things is that you have to learn music theory, which is the way that analyzing the way that music is put together. And I know Melissa and Hank, you both probably had the same experience when in those classes in college. You know, I had friends who were in biomechanics and engineering and who would sit around with me watching my music theory homework and be like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
So
so
It's
true.
very,
learning music theory to start with really helps.
yeah.
Yep. So when your schools offer those, because I know a lot of high schools in the area provide those opportunities for those students, take those classes, give yourself that leg up, because having that background going into those beginner courses then at the college level will really help that a lot. And then piano is always good to have a solid background in, says the person who is primarily, I still consider myself more of a pianist than a vocalist some days. But you know, you can always take what's the words I'm looking for, not methods classes, but you can take lessons at the college level and that sort of thing. But again, having that background going in is always really helpful. Guitar can be a good place to start too if you're thinking more along the lines of classical guitar, or not just chords, but having something that just allows you to manipulate music in your head, you know, with an instrument, so that you've got that background, so that you know what you're working with when you're looking at music itself, can be really helpful.
But I think that we also try to prepare our students. You know, a handful of these students go on to professional careers in music, but
Mhm.
all of these kids go on to be music appreciators. And many of our students go on to sing in community choirs, to sing in church choirs. Sunday, I came home from my Facebook Live church, and two of my former students were having a Facebook Live worship, and they were sitting with guitar singing, and
Oh,
skills that they learned as they were growing up in music classes, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I know that before I went to college, I had no music except for concert choir, and didn't play the piano. I didn't read music very well. And I was thrown into those music theory and piano, and I was like, ah. So yes, definitely now's the time if you want to take piano. Yeah, highly recommend it, and or any
Absolutely.
kind of music or guitar or instrument. Being in band also helps because you learn
absolutely. Any
how to
performance opportunity that you can take. The
how,
more you can get yourself in front of audiences, the more you have that experience, the better off you're going to be.
yes.
And
So
theater, especially.
yes,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yeah, and speaking of theater, you two have done lots of theater, and being involved in a lot of theaters around the area. I know I met Melissa almost 13 years ago in
Yeah.
um, Wadi Falls. And, you know, it's the first time I met you, and you were a delight then, and you're a delight
Thanks.
now. And, you know, Jeff and I ran into each other later on at auditions and reconnected. And
Great.
um, Jeff, I directed you in a little night music, and then it just trickled and trickled and trickled, and we started doing a lot of theater together. Melissa came to my rescue one time during Gypsy when my
Oh my
company
God.
couldn't be there during attack, and she'd never seen the music, popped down at the piano and played through the whole show, sight reading it, and played it almost perfectly.
Well, I don't know that it was almost,
Yes, it
it
was
was
pretty
definitely,
amazing.
well, it was double time. Oh my gosh, I played everything so fast.
I mean, we got out of there early
Was
that
gonna have my
night,
head.
but it was wonderful. But the gift that not only do you give through your music education and teaching children, you also share your talents, which both of you have graced the stages around here and been beautiful in your roles. Um, you two actually were my leads in our first musical at the Wayne Theater, which was Cedar Garden. So touches my heart to that you two got to play those roles, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful show, and it was a wonderful show to open at the Wayne, and you two shared the stage with each other. We're showing some pictures now, and it
was an unforgettable experience. It was,
oh my gosh, what dream roles and what a gorgeous show.
Yeah.
Hank, visually that show is beautiful. Thank you for that.
it really was beautiful.
Well, I one thing you guys know, I can't do it without your talent. It's just amazing, and beautiful promotion photos that Nancy House Connect did. So we had a beautiful show. The whole entire cast was just amazing. We actually have a little treat that Jeff and Melissa don't really know about, but we have a little video to show this evening of Where in the World and How Could I Ever Know from The Secret Garden.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Why did I have to meet you, love you? Why can't I rid you from my mind? Why did you have to want me? Won't you let me put my life behind me? How in the world, tell me how in the world can I live without your love? Why on the earth, tell me why on the earth should I stay now that you are gone? Now there I
Wow. That was probably the most stunning moment in the show. It's just so breathtaking that she's finally came to
They
you.
connect.
They connected, and it's
So
such a
beautiful when she
beautiful
comes
story.
back and she's watching over him that whole time. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. So Jeff and Melissa, do y'all have any closing statements before we close in tonight?
You know, I've been thinking as we've been dealing with the pandemic, there have been so many people live streaming music. There have been concerts, there's Disney sing-alongs. Music has just really connected people. And I think when people have been alone and not been able to do anything else, we look to music. When words fail, music speaks. And I think that this time has so really richly shown that to all of us. It's been really fantastic to watch. And Melissa's been doing her beautiful concerts every night.
That's right. Well, I mean, because music is both for individual joy and also for sharing, because if you can't share it, then, it doesn't quite have the same ring. But with the social isolation, we just, we want to be together again, and we want to connect, and we want to do things like this where we get to, chat, the three of us, about the things that we love so much and share that with others. And so music, like you said, Jeff, is the fundamental way of doing that. It's, it's our heart language. And so that's what we
love that.
Thank you both from the bottom of the Wayne's heart and my heart. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank all of our watchers. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Melissa, Jeff, and Hank. I'm sure we will have some future Wayne Theater stage performers from your schools headed our way. Thank you all for watching At Home with the Wayne presentation. Please keep checking our Facebook page and YouTube channel for lots more fun from the Wayne. These presentations would not be possible without the support of our Wayne Theater patrons, partners, sponsors, and friends. And once again, we'd like to thank our month of April At Home with the Wayne sponsors. Heritage on Main Street, providing takeout and delivery service. Mountain Valley Homes Team, the Valley's newest real estate team. And Standout Arts, Waynesboro's top-rated web designer. If you would like to become a sponsor of the At Home with the Wayne series, a partner in the arts, or make a donation to the Wayne Theater, please click on the waynetheater.org link in the description of this post, just above the comment section. Once on our website, look for the orange box that says At Home with the Wayne. We appreciate any support you can give. Tune in to next Wednesday's At Home with the Wayne, when multi-talented Richard Adams and storyteller Barbara Lawson join us. They're going to take us back to some wonderful times we've had when they were on stage for the River City Radio Hour. There is some terrific footage and photos that we know you will enjoy. As a reminder, this Tuesday, May 5th, is Giving Tuesday Now. We hope you will be able to participate in this fundraising effort, and we have lots of great entertainment coming to you. Be safe, be hopeful, stay home, check in on your loved ones, and see you next time on At Home with the Wayne. Good night.